Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Montage of Singapore. I am your host for the evening. My name is Mehak, and this special show is specially curated by Masti Media Network and supported by National Integration Council. We are absolutely thrilled to be enablers of social and cultural integration in this nation at a national level at this point of time through this very specific and special show that we are bringing to you every weekend evening on Saturdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. on Masti ABI. Well, we are absolutely very proud that we live in a place where cultural and national integrity comes from all sectors of the society. People come together, celebrate various diverse cultures, and Singapore supports it to the very T. Especially when people come to Singapore, they come here for either work or they come here as tourists, and many come here as students. And we'll be talking about them this evening at length. But before that, I would like to tell all our people who are watching the show at this point of time that your active participation is very important. So you can leave your comments, your feedback, your questions, messages right here while we go through this specific episode this evening, where we have a very, very special guest I'll be introducing to you in some time. But firstly, let me play for you the highlights of the last episode of Montage of Singapore. Is very, very special because this show does not have just one guest, but we have two very unique guests this evening. Why are they unique? I'm going to tell you just in a while.
Yeah, when we were together, I mean, it's really very useful, very helpful to introduce us to each other's families.
Words that your wife uses when she's angry.
I don't think I can repeat them here on a live feed. Some of them I understand and some of them I don't.
But in Singapore is the queuing. The queue for everything, queue for food. In hawker centres, I know some of them are Michelin stars, especially those Michelin stars one. Long queue. I think 4 key points. One, be open, celebrate the differences, listen. Communication is key, really. And the third one is very important. Laugh at your mistake, laugh at each other, you know. And finally, of course, you must have the support of your families and loved
absolutely.
ones. Yeah.
It's she's an educator, and it's a very, very key role because I think how to integrate into a society begins at a very young age, and moulding and shaping children's minds with diversity, with inclusion, with how to move around when you're from various different backgrounds is very, very important. So I think the audience would really enjoy that conversation tomorrow.
Well, that was the highlight of the last episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. And we promise that in every episode, there is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, just like in today's episode. However, I would like to bring you back to the integration part of Singapore, how important it is, and how we actually prepare our young minds from the very beginning to accept new people into their lives, to respect their diversity, to welcome them with open arms. And that is very beautifully practiced by our next guest who is on the show this evening. But before I introduce her to you, I would like to take a quote from a very famous Chinese artist who is very famous in Hollywood as well as other parts of the world in movie business. And he says, "We live now in a global village and we are in one single family. It's our responsibility to bring friendship and love from all different places around the world and to live together in peace." That is what Jackie Chan said. And our next guest actually practices her exactly the way it should be at her institution. So let's have a look at her in our next segment, Spotlight. A very warm welcome to our special guest this evening. We have Melissa Maria from GIIS, who is the principal of this very prestigious institution in Singapore. So, a very warm welcome to you, Melissa.
Thank you so much, Mehek, and thank you to Masti Media Network and National Integration Council. It's my immense pleasure to be here.
I am so nervous today because, it is a principal sitting in the chair next to mine, and I should be more disciplined and I have to watch my words. And it's really, making me very, very nervous.
Don't be Mehek. You can go wild on the show.
Yay, that is quite comforting. Thank you so much. And it's really a pleasure to have you here. So instead of me telling people about who you are, what you've done, maybe it'll be best if I request you to introduce yourself in the most appropriate way that you would like to.
Well, yeah, just talking about myself is pretty embarrassing, but let me do that. If I have to sum up in a single word an attribute about myself, I think I am a perfectionist by nature. So I set very high standards of performance as well as personal attributes for myself. For me, everything that I do has to be done to the best possible way. And therefore, while I have the big picture in mind, my eye for detail is immense. Of course, I become the oddball as well because many a times I may be termed fussy or picky. But they say, you know, all sorts make the world. So thank God for that. And we all peacefully coexist. I'm pleased to be here in Singapore because it has accepted me with my strengths and my idiosyncrasies alike.
I think that's very important for us to be accepted. It's so beautifully said by you in your own words. And I would like to know a little bit more about your Singapore story. So tell us more about that.
So 15 years here in Singapore for work, but this is not, my first visit was way before that. I came to Singapore on a visit in 1999 with my 2-year-old. I was visiting my sister here, and she lived in Commonwealth, an HDB on the 16th floor. And Mehek, when I looked at this entire HDB system, it was for me a conceptualization of perfection. And what do I mean by that? When I looked at it, I was so awestruck. I said, this is not only for all races, but also for all ages. Because below the HDB, I saw this play area for my son. Then I saw that there was this obstacle free path for the elderly. I saw place there for chit chatting.
Mm-hmm.
I saw little shops around, and I saw this weekly market, and I said, wow, what perfection. And I said to the universe, I wish this becomes my workplace, and I wish that my son can grow up here, and I wish that I can cherish this land. Fast forward 10 years, and an opportunity came knocking. Global Indian International School offered me a job, and here I was working. Fast forward another 10 years, and today I'm a naturalized citizen. So, I always say dream big because you never know when your dreams can come true.
How wonderful is that? So universe actually listened to you.
It did.
And you are right here. That reminds me of that entire HDB story. When I came to Singapore many years ago, I was, staying at an HDB for a few months. And I thought how convenient it was. You never got drenched in the rain if it is
Absolutely.
raining, if you're taking public transport. You had a convenience store right under your building. You had everything well sheltered, and it was really amazing for me as well to see. So I can totally connect with you there. And I said that people can also participate in today's show. They can leave their messages, their comments, any questions that they have. So maybe I could see if we have any people saying hello. Yes, so we have Sunny Rai saying hello. Hi. Okay, and Naida is saying awesome. Sunil is saying good afternoon from Lucknow. Good afternoon to you as well. Oh my God, somebody is actually tuned in from Lucknow. That's beautiful. And we have Indra Shankar who's saying, our mentor, our role model. We love you, ma'am. Oh my God, you have your students tuning into the show right now. Keep it going, guys. We would be very thrilled to have your messages right here. You can just post your comments, messages, or any questions that you have. Anuritha is saying, that's how we know you, Melissa, ma'am. I am so excited to be on this show with you today. You know, being here makes me like, I'm back to school, but you are not like the regular, principals who are very strict. Are you very strict in school?
I am not.
No?
We cannot afford to be strict anymore. We have to befriend our students and understand where they come from, Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a wonderful thought. You know what? Just hold on to that thought because we'll just move to our next segment, which is called Joy of Singapore. So let's take a short break before we get into that segment. Yeah. Welcome back.
Right here, right now, my future begins. It's hands-on, but it's also academically way up here.
Right here, right now. Technology gives me the opportunity to dive deep into research and innovation.
I'm tech empowered for better results, bringing my dream into reality. The future, it's now.
Welcome back to Montage of Singapore. I am Mehak with you, and we have a very special guest this evening, the principal of a renowned school here in Singapore, Melissa Maria. Ma'am, a very warm welcome to you once again. She's from GIIS. I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this show right now know her by her face and her name. So say hello to ma'am this evening. Okay, so in this segment, Melissa, ma'am, sorry, I have to call you ma'am. Everybody is calling you ma'am. So, I was actually asking her in the beginning of the show that, is it okay if I call her ma'am? And she said, no, Mehak, you just call me Melissa only. That's okay. But now everybody's sending messages saying, Melissa, ma'am. So I can't help but call you ma'am sometimes. I hope that's okay.
That's perfectly fine, Mehak. Whatever makes you comfortable.
How lovely. So, you know what? In this section, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Sure.
And we have the questions right here with us. So, this is called Joy of Singapore, the joy of living in this amazing place, and what makes it so special. And I will be asking you this question, which we will also be showing to our people who are watching this show on their screens. So, this is about success, achievements, or moments of pride in achieving community integration. So, for you at a community integration level, so can you give us some example or something that you've done or that is close to your heart?
Actually, I would talk of moment of pride, for the Global Indian International School, for our chairman, Mr. Atul Temonikar. The greatest moment of pride has come when the Singapore government recognized us with an award for total defense. So we got the Total Defense Award. We got the NS Gold Mark Award. So these are very prestigious awards and made us feel proud. But a special moment of pride for me was when I had a picture of me in the Straits Time, because I am a member of the ACCORD community, that is Advisory Council for Community in Defense, related to defense. I'm a member there and I'm a volunteer. And out of 278 volunteers, I was picked up with two others to be, kind of written about and spoken about. So that was a personal moment of joy for me and pride for me.
Oh my God, this is so amazing. So you are a person whose heart is actually there at the community service.
Absolutely.
You would like to get involved, hands dirty, get out there, inspire people, which is absolutely amazing.
We have to do it with our students, they have to assimilate into the community. So yes, that's my personal push.
Okay. So if I had to ask you, has there been a moment of a failure or a mistake, or maybe, something that you might say you regret in terms of, community integration that you think you could have done a little better or differently?
Well, no mistakes, no regrets, but what I'm working on is trying to bring about more collaboration between our local school children and our international school children. I think bringing them together on a cultural front or sports front would kind of bring about more integration between the two, and more so as they prepare together for national service. I think they'll complement one another more towards, serving the nation better. So I am working towards that, and I hope I have more success in that area.
We wish you all luck and success in that. I'm sure that you're going to do very well there.
Thank you, Mehak.
It's a very clear thought process that you have, and the right initiative and intentions, I'm sure, is going to take you and lead you there in the right direction. And good luck for that. Okay, and it's time for me to ask you the next question that I have. It's a very, very important question that we ask all our guests, and it is, if you left Singapore, what would you miss the most, and what would you miss the least?
Well, I don't want to leave Singapore, but if I have to, I think I'm going to miss the food court culture and food. I love the Newton Newton Food Center, food there. My all-time favorites are the cereal prawns, sambal stingray.
Oh my God, I love that too.
And the crabs.
Oh yeah.
And the mantau. So this is what I'm really going to miss. But more so, Mehak, when you go to the food court and you start building rapport with the vendors, the stall owners, they recognize you when you come and you talk to them. That's what I'm going to miss the most, that connect with that.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'll miss least, nothing that way, but what I always hope is that for all of us who live in Singapore, right, to be more accepting and embracing of one another. So, for example, when I walk across and I smile at you, you should not look at me suspiciously like she has an ulterior motive, so she's smiling. So I'd love that people greet one another and accept one another, with having no strings attached.
Oh, lovely. I think that's something that I would also like more of here in Singapore or anywhere in the world for that matter, so I am a person, who would go and smile. I'm a person who would go and hug. And, so sometimes when you don't receive it back and, it's like, oh my God, okay. So, I like to smile at people while walking on the street, or if you are caught in an elevator together. It just
strike a conversation.
Yeah, it just makes your life and your day so much better.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing that with us. I think this is beautiful. We will be talking more about the amazing initiatives that Melissa ma'am has been taking care of in the past couple of years here in Singapore. She's been here for a very long time. We'll talk about that. But right now, I think it is time that I bring it back to the audience, because this segment is for you guys. Okay. So we are going to have the trivia section. Don't go anywhere, because I have a question coming up just for you.
Make sure you add Masti to your lives. Download the app today and stay energized and connected on the go. Radio Masti 24/7 Live, Singapore's only Bollywood radio since 2009. Oh yeah. Josh
All right, welcome back to Montage of Singapore. I'm your host for the evening. My name is Mehak. I have the principal of GIIS here in the studios with me, Melissa ma'am. A very warm welcome to you one more time. This is a very special segment where I'm going to ask a question to the audience. So everyone who's tuned into the show at this point of time, if you're watching us, I'm going to ask you one question, because this is the question of the weekend. You have to answer it correctly. And the trick is that in each episode, we are going to ask our audience a question. You have to answer the question correctly. And if you answer all the questions correctly in all our episodes, then you stand a chance to come and be a guest on our show, Montage of Singapore. So it's time that we flash the question for the weekend on your screen. The question is, walking around the food stalls at the hawker center with my Australian friend, we keep hearing people saying the food is so show. My friend asked me what that meant. I replied, it means option A, small in portion, option B, awful, Option C, good and delicious. Or option D, it's satisfying. So, which option are you going with tonight? Do write in your comments, give your answers in the comments right here. We would like you to be here. So, for that, you need to answer the question correctly. And we're looking forward to host you here in the studios of Masti Media Network. Well, I would also like to tell everyone, if you want to see all the questions and you want to answer them, then you can go to our Instagram handle, which is Montage of Singapore. Go there, all the questions are there. You can reply, answer, and then stand a chance to come to the studios and be our guest. And coming back to Melissa ma'am, who is here in the studios with us right now. Now, we'll be moving to a very special segment, which is also our last segment of the show, which is a community champion. We're going to come back and talk about it after this very short break.
Right here, right now, my future begins. It's hands-on, but it's also academically way up here.
Right here, right now. Technology gives me the opportunity to dive deep into research and innovation.
I'm tech empowered for better results. Bringing my dream into reality. The future, it's now.
Welcome back to Montage of Singapore. And here this evening, we are absolutely thrilled to have Melissa ma'am in the studios with us. A very warm welcome to you one more time, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so community champion is a very special segment. So here we talk about the initiatives or activities that you might have planned to have your students connect at a wider, scale with other people from diverse backgrounds. So if you can share some of those activities or initiatives that you have done at your end.
So, Global Indian International School actually runs many projects with the community. We are part of the Singapore Kindness Movement, WWF, with NEA. But two projects that I'm very proud of. One is the National Service, which is the preparatory course that we run for our students, all those who are enlistees. We get them ready. So there are fitness training that we do. We bring in, our alumni to talk to the enlistees. We have officers from, MINDEF who come, brave moms who come and, kind of encourage other moms. So this is one program, and this is where they are getting ready to get into the community and mix around. The other one that we are very high on, and I'm personally very, attached to it, is the environment and sustainability. So, setting up a barren land and converting it into something so fertile. So, we had an organic garden that was built, and then recycling all the waste and creating lifelike, human structures and animal structures and putting them in that organic patch. All community members passing up and down would stand there, talk to our students, and try to find out what's happening here. So, sculptures of butterflies and animals and all these organic fruits and plants growing.
Wow.
And so also adding into the curriculum parts of how students can be green, sustainable. And this was repeated in the next campus that I went to, which is from Balestier to East Coast. So we carried on that same project and bringing in other students and schools to come and see what is there. And today I am at the Smart Campus. Now, Smart Campus is an epitome of green and sustainability, whether it is outside our building facade or inside. All little parts within the school building are so much geared towards sustainability. There are plenty of visits that happen to the school to see this in action. So I think this is opening our arms and bringing in the community to learn from best practices. So both the projects, whether it's our national service or whether it is sustainable and green, GIIS and me are at the forefront. And I must add that our chairman, Mr. Atul Temonikar, he is always about assimilation and integration. So little things that he tells us that you should go out and you should give back to community. We are part of this Singapore and we need to give back. So yes, plenty of projects.
That's
the CCs
absolutely
also.
wonderful, that you all have been doing it for so long and sustaining all these practices and initiatives and shaping up the young minds, which will be the citizens or residents of tomorrow. And it's absolutely amazing. With that, I think it is time that I gift you a little something on behalf of Masti Media Network. It's the skyline of Singapore, a very special snapshot and with limited edition.
This is beautiful. Thank you so much, Mehak. It's
Thank you so
lovely.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we have this very special guest here. I am totally loving it, having a conversation with Melissa ma'am, but time is running out. So I will have to request you to please, maybe tease or tell people about who's going to be next on the show. Do you know about that?
Well, for all our audience, you are up for a beautiful surprise with a couple that is coming up next week. A couple who have actually gone through the highs and lows and set up base now in Singapore, whether it's entrepreneurship or cultural integration. You are going to have fun talking and listening to them. They are philanthropists now, but I'll ask you to come back on the show to see them and meet them.
Thank you so much. And it was lovely speaking with you. Do let others know about the show. Let them, join us next time. And thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you, Mehak. It was an absolute pleasure and delight being here. And thank you for this opportunity.
Well, that was Melissa ma'am, the principal of GIIS. And we were absolutely amazed by so many things they have achieved as an institution and her personal initiatives that she has turned into some great success, and about bringing the change in the thinking of the youngsters, the young minds who are here in Singapore. So I think that's absolutely amazing. And this is our effort to bring to you this platform where we bring our guests. They come here, they share their stories of Singapore, about how they have integrated, how they have come here many years ago and have made a difference in everyone's life by their community service, or maybe their, offering services where it is needed. So all of that has been our intention to bring out during this show. This show is curated especially for our audience by Masti Media Network in support of National Integration Council. And it is time that I'm going to take your leave. But yes, do not forget to tune into our next show, which will be on Saturday, 6 p.m. And we are going to have an amazing couple joining us and their journey, how they came to Singapore, what brought them here, how it has shaped their lives, and what have they done to bring to the to the people of Singapore, where they have contributed to the community in many ways possible. With that, it is time that I take your leave. But do leave your comments. How did you like the show? And don't forget to, give your answers to the questions. As I said, you can go to our Instagram handle. There you can see all the questions of all the episodes and answer it. It's time for me to say goodbye, but with a promise that we'll be back soon next Saturday.